Imagine, if you will, a time when everything you know, your morning coffee, your favorite song, even you, didn't exist. Welcome to the birth of Earth. Our story begins about 4.6 billion years ago in a corner of the Milky Way galaxy. Picture a swirling, chaotic cloud of dust and gas like a cosmic ballet, dancing to the music of gravity. This was the birth of our solar system, a performance that took millions of years to perfect. As this cosmic cloud spun faster and faster, the center began to heat up, creating our sun. Around it, specks of dust began to stick together like cosmic Lego blocks, forming larger and larger chunks. One of these chunks, through countless collisions and accretions, would become our beloved Earth. In the early days, Earth was a hot, violent place, a world in turmoil. It was a molten sphere of rock, constantly bombarded by asteroids and comets, a far cry from the blue, life-sustaining globe we call home today. This was a time of fire and brimstone, a time when the planet was more like a molten lava cake than a cool blue marble. But over hundreds of millions of years, things began to cool down. The outer layer of the Earth solidified, forming a thin crust. Volcanic eruptions spewed gases into the atmosphere, paving the way for the formation of oceans. Slowly but surely, the Earth was setting the stage for the greatest show of all, the evolution of life. And voila, we have a planet, but it's still a long way from home. Over the next few billion years, Earth would undergo a series of transformations, from a barren, fiery wasteland to a lush, vibrant oasis teeming with life. Life unlike the life we know today. Let's revel in the fact that out of a cosmic cloud of dust and gas, a world was born. Our world, a place we're lucky to call home. Now that we have a planet, it needs some tenants. Enter stage left, our single-celled ancestors. Imagine, if you will, a world filled with microscopic organisms, each one a tiny, self-sufficient world unto itself. This is where our story of life begins, with these humble, single-celled life forms. Picture a single-celled organism akin to modern-day bacteria. It's tiny, it's simple, but it's got something special. It can reproduce. And so it does again and again until our young planet is brimming with these tiny life forms. But life, as it turns out, is not content with simplicity. It craves complexity, diversity, innovation, and so these single-celled organisms begin to band together, forming colonies. They start to specialize, each cell taking on a different role. Some cells become adept at gathering nutrients, while others excel at reproduction. The result? The first multicellular organisms. These multicellular life forms are a game changer. They're bigger, they're more complex, and they can do things their single-celled predecessors could only dream of. They can move, they can react to their environment, they can even, in some cases, reproduce sexually, mixing and matching genes to create unique offspring. And so, life on Earth blossoms. From these early multicellular organisms, we get an explosion of diversity. Plants, animals, fungi, all can trace their origins back to these early pioneers. But this transformation from single cells to multi-cells didn't happen overnight. It was a slow, gradual process, driven by the relentless engine of evolution and natural selection. Organisms that were better suited to their environment survived and reproduced, passing on their beneficial traits to their offspring. Over millions of years, this process shaped and molded life on Earth, leading to the incredible biodiversity we see today. From one to many, life was getting the hang of this existence thing. And that, my friends, is how we went from single cells to the complex multicellular organisms that fill our world today. From the tiniest bacteria to the largest whale, every living thing on Earth is part of this grand, ongoing story of life. But let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet, my friends, just after life began on Earth. Fast forward a few million years, and welcome to the age of dinosaurs, the original Jurassic Park. Now, when we think of dinosaurs, the mighty T-Rex often steals the spotlight. But the Mesozoic era was not just about this fearsome carnivore. It was a time teeming with a variety of life forms, each more fascinating than the last. Let's take a quick detour to the Jurassic period, shall we? Here, we'd find the long-necked, tree-munching giants known as the sauropods. These gentle herbivores were the largest creatures to ever walk the Earth. Imagine an animal so big, it had its own personal weather system above its head. Then there were the Triceratops, the three-horned wonders of the Cretaceous period. These herbivores had a massive frill, and 3 sharp horns for protection. Talk about a prehistoric fashion statement. And let's not forget the velociraptors, small but cunning predators with a nasty claw on each foot. They were probably much fluffier than the movies would have you believe, though. It wasn't just the land that was full of life. The seas were home to the colossal ichthyosaurs, marine reptiles that looked like dolphins on steroids. And the skies? Well, they were ruled by the pterosaurs, the first vertebrates to evolve powered flight. No big deal, just casually defying gravity. During this era, our planet was a hotbed of evolutionary experiments, with each species adapting and evolving in a bid for survival. From armored ankylosaurs to the dome-headed pachycephalosaurs, the dinosaur kingdom was as diverse as it was magnificent. But alas, all good things must come to an end, and the reign of the dinosaurs was no exception. Yet the legacy of these ancient titans continues to captivate us, reminding us of a time when monsters roamed the earth, and life, as always, found a way to thrive. With the dinosaurs out of the picture, it was time for the underdogs to step up. Cue the mammals. Imagine, if you will, a world where the little guys finally get their shot at the big leagues. This is the story of the mammals, a diverse group of warm-blooded vertebrates that includes everything from tiny shrews to gigantic blue whales. After the extinction of the dinosaurs around 65 million years ago, mammals were able to fill ecological niches that were previously occupied by their larger reptilian counterparts. This led to a rapid increase in both the size and diversity of mammalian species. Fast forward a few million years and we start to see the emergence of some familiar faces. The first primates, our distant ancestors, begin to appear. They were small, tree-dwelling creatures, probably not unlike modern lemurs. But these humble beginnings were the start of something big. Over time, these early primates evolved into a wide variety of species, including one particularly interesting branch known as the hominids. These are our direct ancestors, and they were characterized by a number of important traits, including bipedalism, or the ability to walk upright on 2 legs. The hominids eventually gave rise to a species that you might be familiar with, Homo sapiens. That's us, folks. We humans are unique in many ways, not least of which is our ability to reshape the world around us. We've built cities, created art, developed complex languages, and even figured out how to split the atom. But with great power comes great responsibility. As we've grown and evolved, so too has our impact on the planet. We've become a force of nature in our own right, capable of causing mass extinctions and altering global climate patterns. It's a sobering thought, but it's also a testament to just how far we've come. And thus we arrive at the age of humans, the most peculiar species yet. Now, we humans have been busy bees, reshaping the planet and, well, causing a bit of a mess. From the moment we discovered fire, we've been altering our surroundings to suit our needs. Fast forward a few millennia, and our influence has ballooned out of proportion. Deforestation, pollution, climate change, we're the Picasso of planetary makeover, but with a less aesthetically pleasing palette. Yet as we've seen throughout the history of our planet, life has a knack for adapting. And we, the ingenious Homo sapiens, have the ability to do more than just adapt. We have the power to innovate and find solutions. We've harnessed the power of wind, sun, and water to generate clean energy. We've developed ingenious ways to capture carbon dioxide, our planet's pesky greenhouse gas, turning it into useful products or safely storing it underground. We're even exploring ways to bring back lost species like the woolly mammoth through the magic of genetics. But perhaps our most impactful solution lies in simply allowing nature to do what it does best: regenerate. By protecting and restoring our forests, oceans, and other vital ecosystems, we can support Earth's natural carbon cycle and preserve the incredible biodiversity that makes our planet so unique. It's a daunting task, no doubt. But remember, we're the species that went from cave paintings to quantum physics, from rafts to rocket ships. We've come a long way since our early days as small, shrew-like mammals. So, what's next for our little blue planet and its inhabitants? Only time will tell. Perhaps we'll colonize Mars, discover new life forms in the farthest reaches of our galaxy, or learn to live in harmony with our own planet. The future is a vast, uncharted territory, teeming with possibilities. And as we've learned from our past, it's the challenges we face that spur us on to evolve, adapt, and thrive.